I saw the parents during the trial, and I could see how much has impacted them as well. I think from the start I understood that the crime hasn't only affected my family, but it's had a ripple effect and affected everybody else as well. I wanted to speak to her and make sure that she knew that I didn't blame her for what her daughter had done.
Parents aren't aware of the dangers of mobile phones for their children. That's according to Esther Ghey, the mother of Brianna Ghey, the teenager who was murdered a year ago by two people she considered to be her friends. They have recently been sentenced for her murder. And Brianna was a vulnerable young girl who was quite lonely and sought refuge at times on her mobile phone, as many young people do. I'm pleased to say that Esther Ghey, Brianna's mother, is with us now. Good morning to you.
Good morning. Thank you for having me on.
No, thank you. I mean, how are you this morning?
I'm okay, thank you. I'm good. Yeah, I've had some bad days and good days, but focusing on the campaigns that I'm running is keeping me going, keeping me positive.
Of course. I want to talk about the campaigns, but also I want to talk to you, if I may, about something that many people just find incredible, that you found the strength within yourself to meet the mother of one of the teenagers who killed your daughter just a few weeks after they were sentenced for murder. I know you don't want to go into the specifics of that meeting, and of course we wouldn't want to do that, but I just wonder why you wanted to do that.
For me, I saw the parents during the trial, and I could see how much has impacted them as well. I think from the start I understood that the crime hasn't only affected my family, but it's had a ripple effect and affected everybody else as well. I wanted to speak to her and make sure that she knew that I didn't blame her for what her daughter had done, and yeah, just to find out what it was like for her as a family as well.
I can't imagine what it must have been like for you in the moments before that meeting, and how you prepare yourself for that.
I think for me, there wasn't any like awful emotions towards Emma. So it was an emotional meeting, but it's something that I'm really glad that I did do, and I think that I hope that she feels the same as well, and that it's provided a sort of a sense of it, like healing for her too.
I wanted to ask you that if you felt that it had helped you.
Yes, yeah, I think it has helped, and I think it sort of reinforces that there are no feelings of hate towards her, and it helps me to realise that she's a normal woman. She's a mother who's having to deal with something horrific as well, and I think it just gives you that sort of, it's a human interaction, and you can empathise more then.
And it is so hard, isn't it, being a parent? We don't have a manual. We kind of muddle through, don't we? And we do our best. And we do have shared challenges, don't we?
Yeah, we do, and I think that it's always been difficult to be a parent. Like it's the most rewarding thing in the world, but it is challenging. And I think that now more than ever, with like the online world and smartphones, it's just made it like 100 times more difficult for parents to monitor and to make sure that they can protect and safeguard their children.
Mm. After meeting the mother of Scarlett, did it change your view on what had happened? Did you get a different perspective or a different insight, or indeed have different feelings towards those two teenagers?
No, I don't think that it's impacted the way that I felt about like what's happened or the people who have actually committed the crime. No, not really.
Mm. Talk to us a little bit about the campaigning, if you would, because you have been incredibly strong in your views on what you think needs to be done to not restrict young people, but actually just support them to navigate through what is an incredibly difficult time.
Yes, so I'm running a Peace in Mind campaign, which I would like to see that ultimately for mindfulness to be spread out across England. Like mindfulness can benefit you by building mental resilience, empathy, self-compassion, as well as focus. It can also help teachers to reduce burnout, and it can improve the overall culture of schools. I think that if we get this into schools, it will not only improve schools and young people and children, but it could also impact society as a whole. I'm such a strong advocate for mindfulness because it's something that I've practiced for 8 years now. And I think that having this practice in place has really helped me to cope better with like the most horrific thing that could ever happen to our family. And the other thing is mobile phone. I would like to see mobile phone companies to take more responsibility for children's welfare. Be that having a point of purchase software downloaded on it so that parents can be flagged if there are any concerning words that the child is putting into the phone. And as well as like reducing screen time as well, because I think mobile phones, there's the welfare aspect of it where we've given our children these phones and everybody, the whole world has got access to our children, but then also the mental health side of it. So looking at screens, scrolling through social media sites, it impacts your mental health negatively. So even though the two quite different campaigns, they do cross over a lot.
Mm. And I mean, it is really difficult for every parent, isn't it, to keep track of what our kids are looking at online and accessing. But I guess there's a level of responsibility that we have as parents to also educate our children to use the digital world responsibly. We can't just take it away from them because it's a reality that they live with.
Yeah, and I completely agree that we can't take this away from them. But as a parent myself and having experienced what I experienced with Brianna, so she was very addicted to her phone. Like these mobile phones they are addictive. And when she reached around the age of 14, it was so difficult to actually, no matter how much I tried to educate her, I think they reach a certain age and they just think that parents haven't got a clue what they're talking about. And I told her about the dangers, and then she ended up being on self-harm sites and eating disorder sites, which I actually wasn't aware of, because you want to give your teenager that level of independence and you want to let them sort of navigate the world on their own as well as protecting them as well. And I think it's just so difficult to monitor something that they've got in their pockets 24/7. And that's why I think that it would be great if I could speak to mobile phone companies and just see like what can we actually do to protect children better, and to, I suppose, to help support parents as well as protect children as well.
Mm.
I think that there's got to be something that we can do to make things easier.
Do you feel listened to? I know you've had meetings with the Prime Minister, you've been in the House of Commons, you've spoken to people. Do you feel like people are taking on board what you're saying and are going to take action?
I feel like people are taking on board what I'm saying. I think in order for them to take action, it's really important to keep communications open and to keep discussing what I'm talking about. That's why I'm putting myself out there, because it's important